Hello. Once again, I've been joined by former Step 5 footballer and now Swindon Town professional footballer, Jake Tabor. Jake, I spoke to you last 12 days ago. You were still a Step 5 footballer, now been signed up by Swindon Town. You was going to be going for a trial on the Monday after the interview. So first of all, tell us how that went.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone well, as you can probably imagine, because I signed for him. And yeah, it was perfect. I didn't have to go trialing club to club to club.
Yep.
It was just luck at first sight. So yeah, it's been good, but it's just been a busy couple of weeks.
Well, you said club to club to club. I know there was quite a few clubs that were interested in you, but it seemingly you've taken the first deal on the table. Would that be correct?
No, I had other deals offered at different clubs, but that was my first choice club, and thankfully they 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 wanted me because that was my first pick. That's why I went there first. So yeah, I was happy that my first choice was also their first choice.
Yes. So I think we touched on the last video that obviously in May your contract ran out at Amersham. You decided to get yourself a bit fit and hoping clubs would come in for you. So when did you first hear about Swindon Town's interest?
I think it was May, like towards the end of May. I'm not too sure. I can't fully remember, but yeah, in and around then. So I knew about that, and then I spoke to the manager maybe the first week of June or end of June. So I knew that I was coming in train, and I had the schedule. So that's when I kind of knew. But prior to then, I knew I had other clubs from as soon as the tweet went up. So that's why I was preparing and ready, and then thankfully they come in at the right time.
Yeah, so you was talking about preparing. Um, was you still keeping up your fitness literally as soon as you left Amersham, or was it when the tweet went out?
No, as soon as the season finished, just kept on working, like working harder than I had it in the season,
Yeah.
because I realised my time was now, if I was gonna have time. So yeah, literally across the whole of summer, running, doing football sessions all the time, and thankfully it's paid off.
Yeah, talking of work, we were just talking off camera momentarily because you sell Peloton bikes,
Mm.
and Jake was telling me he's got quite a lot of stock to shift now. So if anyone wants a
Yeah,
Peloton bike, they get hold of you by Twitter.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of a weird one. I've now got to stop what I was originally doing and kind of get that moved on and sell all that, so then I can focus on football. So at the minute it's a bit busy. Like I've just moved in to a new place, and I've also got to kind of sell all of that, and then I can fully focus on my next chapter. But until then, it's hard. It's hard to fully focus.
I can imagine. Like I said, when did Swindon sign you up? Was it Friday of last week?
Yeah, Friday last week, and then it's been busy since. I've barely had a day's rest.
Literally 5 days after you first started your trial.
Mm.
Now you drove down to Swindon Town on the Monday morning. What was going on in your headspace? That was you looking forward to it? Was you nervous? New bunch of guys. What was it?
I wasn't really nervous. The only problem was I'd got a text from the manager saying we're at the main ground, and on the message of the schedule it said the training ground. So
Uh,
then it was a bit of confusion. So I texted the manager at like 7:30 in the morning, thinking, "Oh, I'm driving to the wrong place. He better respond." Thankfully, he responded. It was all right, but no, I wasn't really overly nervous. It was just a trial. The worst that they could say was no. So it was no. I wouldn't have been any bad feelings either way. So I wasn't nervous. I was a bit excited, yeah, of course, but I was kind of just taking it taking it as normal, to be honest.
well, I saw your official Swindon Town interview, and you said that you were straight in with the professional guys already. So did that make a difference from your experience when you was on trial at Wycombe Wanderers, where your words shunted to the side a little bit?
Yeah, but that's because they've got a different setup there, different philosophy.
Yeah.
Whereas the club I was going to, and also me being older compared to a couple of seasons ago, I knew that I was coming to all these teams as a first team player, And I had that discussion with all the clubs. It wasn't coming as a training player or to get loaned out necessarily. It was coming to be in the squad and not necessarily make the bench or make the squad each week. But that was, you're in and amongst it. So that was what I was coming here to do.
So day one, was there any ball work or was it just running?
Minimal ball work, but mainly just testing fitness, strength, and a little bit. So it's kind of tough as a trialist because you haven't really got much to do, and you're a bit nervous because I've never done half the drills before. I think I was more nervous at fucking the drills up.
That's my boy. You haven't changed.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that was what I was more nervous about, but the actual football side of stuff, not so much.
Well, I can imagine because obviously Swindon have taken a look at you because your stats, it's goal scoring stats. It's not your running stats that they've looked at on Twitter, is it? So without much chance to impress doing the ball work, I'm guessing you thought I've really got to lay a marker down with my runs, right?
No, not necessarily. Look, you're doing the runs, you're trying to get your fitness up, so you just do it to the best of your standard. Like, I know doing it better than everyone else is gonna naturally like cause some attention, and people think, "Wow, he's great." But it's not like me. It wasn't me overly trying to impress. That was just me being normal, me just running.
Just doing your best, basically.
Yeah, so it wasn't like me going that extra mile or anything like that.
Not to put a marker down, just being yourself.
No, it was just being normal, and thankfully that my fitness is good, so it kind of impressed. So that put me in good stead for the following days.
Yeah. Now I've again on your interview, Swindon Town, you broke a couple of running records. Ian Holloway's running records. Now, did you get a bit of banter from the boys, like teacher's pet already, or anything like that?
No, I didn't. People were just like impressed, and they just say fair play. So the reception I got was fairly well with that. But it was kind of weird beating records.
Yeah.
Especially for someone that's been in the Premier League for so long. But it's a good benchmark to have, and a good skill to have in your locker.
You betcha it is.
Of that fitness, because then you can higher press. There's lots of different things you can do. So it's handy for sure.
So, first couple of days were running. You also squeezed in a couple of podcasts and a visit to Talk Sport Towers. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so on the Monday after the session, I had a podcast, and then the Tuesday, I had Tuesday evening, I had Talk Sport, and it was live. So I got invited down to the studios in London. Done that. It was like 15 minutes long, and it was incredible. Like, they posted the clip up on YouTube as well, even though they wasn't going to originally.
How dare
they? They did in the end because they realized how big the story was. So soon after they realized, they posted it on the YouTube, and it's got quite a lot of views. So it was good, but it didn't really affect like um, my situation or anything, because I was doing it thinking I might need some backup clubs. But
You need to publicise yourself a bit more, right?
yeah, 100%. I was still a free agent, so I was like, I need to do what I can to go out my way. But thankfully, it didn't matter. But I did get back to my hotel in Swindon at about 1 a.m. and I was knackered.
This is what I was about to say. When I saw that you was doing this interview, what time was the interview? What time did you have to be there for?
It was 9:15, 9 till 9:15, I think.
Now, would you advise a trialist after 2 days to then go to London from Swindon to do this interview to get back at 1 in the morning?
Probably not, no, but
thank goodness for natural fitness, right?
Yeah, and thankfully nobody said anything the following morning. So it went under the radar. People saw it eventually, but I don't think anyone. I thought people would bring it up in the dressing room straight away, which they didn't. So I was just, I was grateful to hear that they weren't bantering trialists for like going to London the day before.
Yeah, so you did that. So it's kind of lucky that TalkSport didn't put it up straight away, because then it allowed you to start getting into the ball work. I'm guessing on day 3, 4, 5, shooting practice, drills, stuff like that. How did that go?
No, we still haven't really done any proper shooting practice. It's kind of just been passing patterns, group stuff.
Yeah.
It's not what you'd expect. Like, as an outside person, like, I certainly didn't expect it. It's a lot more tactical stuff. keep ball, but yeah, he just kind of didn't really see much finishing. He just saw a few little finishes in mini
Yeah.
games, but aside from that, nothing. And he said he had seen enough at that point, and he was convinced.
Was you feeling the pressure before the ball work stuff? Because obviously that's what you're there for, to play football.
Mm,
Feeling a bit of pressure, like, because you've said to me previously, you don't feel you've got any skills or nothing like that. You're not going to do any step overs
mm.
and that. Was it just a case of like passing from A to B, triangles, stuff like that? Was it?
Yeah, it was the basic stuff, but I don't think there was pressure with ball work. I think I just my main pressure is I don't understand the drill. So if I don't understand the drill, then I'm not going to do very well because I'll probably pass it the wrong way,
Yeah.
and then I look bad. But that's the only real pressure I feel. I don't. I know if I know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and like we played a showcase game, an in-house game, sorry, and I was fine with that because
Okay.
it's just a match. You know the
Yeah.
rules. The rules don't change. But when you're doing complicated passing patterns that you're not used to learning, it's a lot at once. So that side of it was more confusing.
Well, the thing is, you've never really trained, did you, Amersham? So suddenly you're going from not a lot of training, just keep yourself ticking over,
Mm.
to this. Um, what was the leap up like for you?
Yeah, I mean it is a big leap. The intensity is far more intense. It is a complete different world away. Like the touches, the passes,
Yeah. Was
but
was there a lot of stuff that instructions that you thought I've not even thought about that on a football field before?
yeah, some of the phrases they come up with are stuff that I've never really heard of or
Yeah,
understood. But
yeah,
you
yeah,
you slowly learn to understand it 100%.
yeah. When you didn't understand it, was there a few f bombs coming your way?
No, they understand that you're not going to understand because you're coming from, and I said that I don't really understand, so they say fair enough, that's fine. Like they're not going to expect someone that's never been in that environment to understand all the drills.
That's really nice to hear because it's been said before, football professional level can be a cutthroat environment, but it sounds like they've invested quite a lot of time in you already in that first week.
Yeah, it's just man management skills, just reassuring the lad that don't worry if you go wrong, you're not expected to
Yeah,
do everything right, which is true. You can't expect to be perfect at a drill you've never seen before. But the basic stuff like the games and the running, that's straightforward. You should be good at.
yeah,
So
yeah.
as long as you can shine in other areas, then man, they can be pleased, 100%.
So clearly, you've had a professional contract offered to you. But let's just rewind slightly. Why Swindon Town then? Why is it them that you want to play for? How did they make you feel?
Yeah, so when I first spoke to them, well, the manager was inviting me down to the ground to have a meeting. So that in itself is quite good because a lot of clubs just want to text or phone you
Yeah, yeah,
because it's at their own convenience. So the fact they're trying to meet you and get to know you in person, that's massive. But also speaking to the manager instead of a sporting director, a CEO, the owner, the recruitment, the assistant coach. It's that personal touch.
yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of the times the other clubs would deal through other people, so dealing with the manager and speaking to the manager and him offering to meet up in person was massive because a lot of the clubs wouldn't have got me on the phone to the manager, and if they did, it would have been in person, not offering to come down. So the fact that they even offered,
Yeah, it's the small touches that really make the difference.
100%, hundred
Yeah,
percent.
yeah. You wouldn't have been the only trialist there that week. How many others were there, and what happened to them?
So there was one goalie on trial. Well, there was two goalies on trial, and they just needed. I was taking one of them, and then there was three other outfield players.
Yeah, did you bond with anyone particularly?
Yeah, some of the trialists, we're all grouped together because we're all on trial, so we're all new. But sadly, none of them signed for whatever different reasons. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's just football. That's the way it goes. Like there's always other opportunities out there, and I'm sure they'll have great seasons too.
Well, you clearly were the chosen one. So your offer. When did you get wind, or when was you told that you'd been offered a professional contract with Swindon Town?
So on the Wednesday, which was the third day,
Yep.
I was told about it on the phone. And originally I was told I'd need to wait around for about a week for a decision. But he told me straight away on the Wednesday after 3 sessions, which is like
That's incredible.
incredible,
Yes, yeah.
considering we hadn't played a game or done too much. So that's when I knew. I spoke to the manager on the Thursday, and he said to me he wanted to offer me a 2 year deal. And then yeah, he just said, look, it's down to yourself and the agent and that, just and the club. But he said, as long as you're happy with what we're offering, the deal's there. So at that point, it was in our hands to kind of sign the deal and agree the numbers.
And it was looking good at that stage. You thought, yeah. So when you see that, because I know you like your Twitter account, did you did you have a moment where you was looking down all the speculation where you still might end up, despite in your heart of hearts knowing that it's going to be Swindon?
No, I didn't really check Twitter.
Yeah.
Kind of stopped. I'd stopped using Twitter at that point because I'd just been focused on the football sides of it. But I don't really let the speculation and all the rubbish get to me. I just let it work in the background, and that's fine.
Still the same level-headed Jake Tabor, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it is weird now. I've got a couple of TikTok accounts that are impersonating me, pretending to be.
Is that right?
I get sent them by my pals all the time.
I might have tried to put one up on the screen in a minute.
Yeah. There's one today. Official Jake Tabor. It's not official. It's unofficial. So stuff like that's weird, but it's been crazy the amount of messages I got on Instagram and stuff, just wishing me well, from fans to non-league people. It was incredible.
Yeah. Is it still a bit weird now that you are a professional footballer? Is that still kind of like hard to get your head around?
Yeah, you slowly kind of come to terms with it. I think once you've played in front of the fans at the stadium, and you kind of realize actually what you've got yourself into. But until then, you feel ever so normal, like nothing changes.
Yeah.
You just move house and change job, but it's not like the Premier League where you're getting paid 100 grand a week and I can go buy.
You mean you're not getting paid 100 grand a week?
No, sadly not. So
no wonder he hasn't offered me a drink.
So I think like at that level, yeah, things might change, but the reality is I'm not on 200 grand a week. I haven't gone to Louis Vuitton straight away and spent all my money.
So group is stay away for now.
Yeah.
You're talking about match. What's next? When are you going to be making your first appearance for the Robins?
Yeah, so we've got a game tomorrow against the local Step 4 team, and then a few more games.
That's Swindon Supermarine.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there before?
Never been there.
Lovely club. A terrific pitch as well. It's incredible, mate. So yeah, you're going to love that for your baptism of fire.
Yeah.
So
good.
have you been issued a squad number yet for Swindon Town?
Yeah, I have, but that will come out in due course, I think, with all the other players' squad numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good to not get something of like 50 or 60.
Yeah. So whatever number you wear tomorrow, it won't necessarily be your squad number.
Maybe tomorrow, but I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really.
Yeah. Have you signed your first autograph yet?
I haven't yet, but I have had a few people come up to me and recognise me.
So tell us about that then.
Yeah, a couple of different times, like just getting a haircut. A few people come up to me, like, and it's weird because I'm just getting a haircut. I'm just normal fella like them, just getting a haircut. And in the shop the other day, but it's cool. Like, it's cool, but it's nice because it's not at a level like. It's not unbearable. It's not like you're Ronaldo. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah. You can breathe still, can't you?
Yeah. If you're a lower level footballer, unless you're in the area of where the club is, you can probably just live your life as normal, which is quite nice because the players like Marcus Rashford, you can't go anywhere without getting a photo taken.
Yeah, that's true. Well, when I was about 10, 11, and maybe a little bit older as well, I used to practice my signature. That I was going to dish out when I became a professional footballer. Never happened, obviously. Have you had a little practice?
Not really. It's maybe something I should practice and and adjust, but that's
Well, you don't want to be using the same signature for like your personal stuff, do you?
yeah. I don't really want people impersonating my actual like credit cards.
I
They
was going
can
to say you're already getting impersonated.
yeah, you can impersonate me on TikTok, but if you impersonate me and like get finance on a new car and put it on my name, it's probably not great.
Well, unless it's a really nice car, you might be laughing with that.
Yeah,
It
no,
will benefit someone else, but
yeah. So yeah, probably advisable to get stuff like that all in check.
yeah. I'm kind of thinking now as well. Obviously nowadays players have their names on the back of the shirt, so obviously you haven't had one printed yet. But have you allowed yourself a moment to think what it'd be like when you see the first fan with the name Tabor on the back?
I haven't really thought about it, but it will be weird seeing it if I do see it. If someone gets my name on the back, other than like my mum.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, it'll be a weird feeling, but it will be quality. Like,
So you last week's interview, you were saying that your main goal is to get yourself established and
mhm.
hopefully score a few more goals now. It's still the same, is it?
Yeah, 100%. Just try and do the same as you was doing before, and if you can do that, then you can climb higher and higher. So, but for now, it's just about trying to find your feet, get in
Yep.
the squad, and work from there. But that is the end goal, 100%.
Yeah, the season starts around about a month's time away to Warsaw, correct?
Yeah, first game of season away.
Yeah.
Good place to go for the first game. Only narrowly missed out on the league last season.
Yeah, I hope this doesn't sound really disrespectful, mate, because I don't mean it to be. But is it only when you play your first class match for Swindon Town you'll truly regard yourself as a professional footballer,
I
or
don't
your
know. We've
first
got
goal? What do you?
yeah. Our first goal is a first competitive goal, first appearance, first competitive appearance.
All little ticks
Yeah,
off?
yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't really have that as like a goal of my first goal. That's what I'm paid to do. So
yeah.
it's not like a great achievement scoring a goal. That's what I've
Yeah, that's coming from someone that finds it remarkably easy.
yeah, but it's not going to be anywhere near easy. But ultimately, yeah, cool. Your first goal, but you're paid to score a goal, so you
Yeah.
shouldn't. You shouldn't. Why would I get like overly memorable of that? Like it's my job. That's like a builder turning up and building.
I've heard that one before, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, feet firmly on the floor, mate. That's for sure.
yeah,
Have you allowed yourself a thought of like how you're going to celebrate your first goal?
yeah. I've got a few celebrations lined up. All my mates are loving my celebrations. I've got
They've been practiced.
yeah, yeah. I've
Yeah,
got I've got like a little Ronaldo type celebration in my locker. I've got a few different dances.
yeah.
I've got some good ones for
Come on, mate.
sure.
You've got to give us a T for Tabor. Come on.
Nah, I've got more spicy
You just
ones.
dissed me there.
No, I've got better ones lined up for sure.
I
Yeah.
won't take that personally. So you're going to have to score what, at least 10 separate goals for 10 separate celebrations?
Yeah, I'll do a new celebration each and every time, 100%. The more goals I can get, the more celebrations and dances I can do. Um,
You're not going to do one, though, surely, if you're 4-0 down and yours is a consolation, are you?
no, no. So there's a time and a place to do
There is.
a celebration, and you don't want to be that guy to celebrate a 1-0 up and then them do the same celebration to you. So you've got to also remain humble as well.
Yeah, it's not about taking the piss out of the other team. It's all about the entertainment industry, isn't it? And like putting yourself out there, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not about taking the piss unless you do something that does take the piss out of the opposition. It's more just about enjoying the moment and kind of embracing the celebrations with the fans. I don't think it's there to provoke the opposition.
Yeah.
I think it's just part of the experience. You knee slide in the corner. Your
Make sure
fans
it's
love
a
it.
damp pitch before you do that.
Yeah.
So, as we touched on earlier in the video, you're not selling Peloton bikes now. So, what are you doing when you get home from training? Have you got a lot of spare time?
No, it's not as much spare time as you think. You get home, go to the gym, recover, eat some lunch, and then try and watch some video
Yeah,
analysis
yeah,
of different games. So there's always ways you can carry on learning outside of your necessarily like work hours.
yeah, yeah.
So it's just about just preparing yourself for the games ahead and and learning tactically, because that's something I need to develop. So I've just been watching lots of different games.
That'd be interesting how that sort of manifests itself.
Yeah, so it's just little stuff like that to keep you kind of ticking over.
You're already getting a new appreciation, aren't you? I suppose, like just by spending 2 weeks at Swindon Town, right?
Yeah, 100%. So it's just about continued learning, really.
Well, I can hear in the background that your phone is going off, Jake. So I'm just going to wrap up the interview now with saying thank you so much for your time. Thank you too for Swindon Town for allowing me to do this interview. I hope there's nothing too controversial. Good luck in your endeavours, mate. I'm sure I'll pop along the county ground and some away games to see how you're getting on, mate.
Yeah.
Okay. All the best, mate. Cheers.
Ciao, mate.